it's going to be doing everything old school. So none of this new fancy stuff that we've got. It's all old school. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I think we may make a mistake or two along the way.
Being old school should be right up his alley.
It's where I live.
Welcome to Sam's Garage, presented by NH Oil Undercoating. Welcome to the new season of Sam's Garage. This episode, Sam picks up a C6 Corvette that's in need of some love. Sam gets some help changing the wheels on Doug's GT350. Then Sam goes back to his roots with a Honda Accord sleeper project. And finally, Sam takes us through the highlights of the 2023 SEMA Show. Sam and Julie kick off the new season of Sam's Garage with a C6 Corvette that Sam recently picked up. The car has already had some interesting modifications done, but Sam is rescuing this automotive icon and building it how it should be. He's brought in the folks from Holley to help him turn this Vette around.
2005 Corvette, as you can tell from the looks of it, I got a really good deal on it. Sure, it's got a lot of little faults, but we can fix all those little faults. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to Holley and I'm gonna get a whole bunch of parts. You guys know that Holley has acquired a lot of brands that we're all familiar with over the years. So I'm gonna go to Holley and I'm gonna put a bunch of parts on this car and make it mine. But there's a lot of things wrong with it before we do that. Like for instance, so they put Lamborghini doors on it, and in the time that they did that, you gotta remove the quarter panels in the front, so they didn't put them on right. So every panel is gonna have to be addressed, but it's got a lot of potential because it is a manual 6-speed C6 Corvette. Now, if you guys have cars, you know, we all pressure wash the engine bay, but stay away from the alternator. You know, you can pressure wash the alternator, but don't sit there and really drown the alternator, because then you don't want water inside there, you can kill it. If you see anything, just use your head and you should be able to pressure wash your engine bay, make it look good without having any issues. Now, you're gonna be seeing more of my wife, Julie, this season because I need help on set. She's a great helper. She's been helping me build cars for 20 years. Now I'm going to show you guys when you get a C6 Corvette and you're addressing the charging system, what you need to look for and how you got to get in the car if you don't have a key. Now the first models of the C6 Corvette were known to have electronic gremlins. Really, it turns out to be the grounds on the car. There's lots of chassis grounds on the Corvette. You have to make sure that they're not corroded, because when your grounds are messed up, the electronics go haywire. But if you have a Corvette, this particular one doesn't have a key. So if you have a Corvette and it's all locked up and your key is dead, or you don't have a physical key and your battery is dead, you have to be able to get power to the car to hit the button to be able to open the door. Jump box. If you have something like this that's newer, it's electronic and smart, right? If it sees a dead battery and you hook it up normal, it just pulses 12 volts to it. It does not keep this battery pack on, which is what you need in a situation like this. So you turn it on, hit the red button, now it's a live battery. Okay, you're gonna come over here to the starter. You're gonna look for the starter positive feed. You're gonna hook up this guy to the positive. So then we'll just take this guy here and go to ground. And now you have power. You go to your key fob, hit the unlock button, and it should unlock the door. But that's how you get into your C6 Corvette. But the biggest pain is all you C6 owners, if you have a completely dead C6, it's 1 hour labor to even open the door. Considering the outside looks so bad, we got lucky with the bottom side. Sure, there's some shady stuff going on, like the fog light just hanging here like this. Somebody couldn't put this back correctly. Oil filter, common problem. But right here,
yeah.
What were they thinking when they did this? It's just a stud welded and it's just sitting there. And anytime you guys are lifting up a Corvette, as you can see, I got rubber in between the metal and the metal because you don't want anything to shift. But overall, pretty clean. And you go to the back, you can see it's undisturbed, no one's done a clutch in it. But what's weird is all this stuff that's baked on and stuck onto that the pressure washer wouldn't even get. And the only thing they did was cut off the mufflers, but they left the rest of the exhaust intact so that when I go install my Flowmasters, I could just bolt them in like a catback exhaust should be. All right, so you proud of me? I did good on this one?
Yeah, pretty good.
Not gonna get in too much trouble?
No, I think the mistakes are minimal. They're fixable.
Yeah.
At least no one took it apart and made a giant mess.
Forgot that one. It was under the battery. This thing must have lived in the forest or something.
There's a lot of things that are tucked into nooks and crannies of this car. We'll find a lot of things.
Looks like you have a lot of work ahead of you. Join us next week as we dive into the C6 Corvette.
Sam's Garage is presented by NHOU. Brought to you by the following companies: Welcome back to Sam's Garage, presented by NH Oil Undercoating. Lee from Corgi USA is at Sam's Garage to help change the wheels on Doug's GT350. They plan to use a new set of period-correct wheels from Vision while running the Great Race. Corgi is a world leader in the automotive assistance equipment sector.
Doug and I are going to be doing the Great Race in the Shelby GT350 this year. And last year we did a little bit of maintenance to it. One of them was getting a set of tires from Tire Distributors of Georgia. Got a set of Mickey Thompsons on the original wheels, but we don't want to scruff up the original wheels. They don't really look good. So we went to Vision wheels and got a whole new set, old school period correct.
Right.
So what we're going to do is remove the old tires, put them on the new tires. And I finally got myself a tire machine and balancer. Went to Corgi USA, got me the top of the line, and I got Lee here to show us exactly how to use it.
Let all the air out of the tire, and then we simply roll it up onto the lift and be utilizing all of the tools that Corgi put on here to make this more ergonomic for just about anybody to be able to use the machine. You'll notice all of the tools and the turntable, everything lines up to a 15-inch wheel, perfectly calibrated. I can micro adjust this machine, make it just a little bit bigger. I want to be as close as I can, so I'm showing 15.4 on this 15-inch rim. Take our Euro paste, swab it up frothy like the old shaving cream. I'm going to rotate slowly and ratchet it down, trying to break that bead. I'm going to twist and hold my ignition switch, is what I call it. And Sam, this is a nice feature that nobody else has. Once I twist and hold this, it curls the bead over the rim, but you see the turntable moves in, and that takes the pressure off the bead to help protect the tire and the rim. Allow the jaws to open up. So when we're mounting the tires, we want the valve stem to be 5 to 6 o'clock away. I want to lubricate this bead 360 degrees all the way around. Do not leave any portion of it not lubricated, because it'll cause you problems when you're mounting with the tire sticking to the rim when you don't want it to be. And screw it on like a jar of pickles. This is the EM9780 diagnostic balancer. It can tell you if the rim's out around or if the tire's out around to indicate any problems. Again, the machine is set up for ergonomics. I'm gonna use my lift to provide the lift needed to put the wheel up on the shaft. On this machine, it's mount your wheel, close and go. So all we're gonna do is just shut the hood. And you see after it spins, it automatically stops and locks and highlights the first weight that you would put on at 12 o'clock. In here, at the 5 o'clock position, you will see a laser dot. The reason why I emphasize the laser dot is the dot is a crosshair. So you have to put it exactly where that dot is. If it was a laser line, theoretically, you can put it anywhere on that line and you wouldn't be as accurate. We have different versions of the Master 28, so you can go down a notch to the Master J, and it's a little smaller footprint, and it has a little less moving parts. And then we have one higher, that's the Master Code, which is the exact same machine, but that's the one we all want, right? That you just push a button and the tire comes off.
That's incredible. I saw that, you know, I'm like, there's no way, but it really does. You
It
hit a
really
button and
does.
It does the whole thing. And what's crazy is it does these big 24s, 26 with little 30 series, 25 series tires that are almost non-existent sidewall, and it does them with no problems. This customer came to me, wanted to make his 1978 Bronco roadworthy. One of the problems we were running into was an overheating situation. Once I started disassembling everything, I noticed that behind the factory components, there was an actual dual electric fan setup too, which tells me they were fighting an overheating issue. You want to go through, do a diagnostics on the cooling system, make sure everything is up to snuff, make sure your thermostat is good, new, and it's working properly. Don't forget the radiator cap, because the thermostat and the radiator cap work together. Now, what I recommend is anytime you guys have a situation like this, these old cars, 160, 170 thermostat, you can run it, no problem. It'll keep the engine cool. There's no onboard diagnostic computers to give you a P0128 code, so there's no worries there. For me to fix this situation, I went ahead with a cold case complete cooling system, because they use a nice 4-row big radiator that bolts right into the factory location, and then they give you a fan shroud with high flow fans that's going to cover the entire core of the radiator, keeping everything nice and cool. With a brand new radiator cap and a brand new thermostat, we should keep the heat in this Bronco at bay, and it'll give him nice peace of mind knowing every time he goes to the car show, he's not going to break down because of overheating.
Sam and his wife get started on their next project this season, a 4th generation Honda Accord. They'll be replacing the stock engine with an H22 from a Honda Prelude and converting the automatic transmission to a manual. This project is the true definition of a street sleeper.
Now, doesn't this bring back memories?
Yeah, it really does. This is truly going back to your roots.
Absolutely, that's where we started from. Now, we were building Hondas right next to domestics as well, because I'm a gearhead. So all you domestic guys who are diehard, don't change the channel, because we're gonna school you on why Honda's got so much street credit. If you're a diehard gearhead, then you're gonna wanna see these next few episodes. I got my wife, Julie, assisting me this season. So on this car, we're gonna be doing a little sleeper. It's a 93 Honda Accord. It's an automatic with 125 horsepower, F22. We're gonna be putting an H22 from a Honda Prelude with 220 horsepower, which is another 100 horsepower, and I'm going to convert it from automatic to manual. This is going to be absolutely awesome. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do this. You can do it at home. So many people did it back in the day in their garages. This is going to be one cool swap. All right, so this is a real messy job. Now, the old days, we didn't have subframes, not like a K car like the Chryslers came out with in the 80s. The Hondas, until the 2000s, were just a regular engine in there, and that was it. So you saw me come from the top out, because the H22 and F22 are really big. But if this was an Integra or a Civic, you can go easily from the top in and out all day long. So what I did to make it easy on me, and this is very important, anytime you guys are doing a job this big, get everything out of your way. It takes minutes to get it out of the way. It'll take you hours fighting that stuff to get around it. So I took the front subframe off, that's gone, the cross member is gone, everything attached to the engine is gone. This is gonna be a two-man job, because I needed you to do the lift.
Yeah, and it's also a really messy job, like Sam said, and so you want to be prepared for that, and if there's any fluids that you can remove beforehand, do that. Otherwise, have clamps ready, have pans ready, because it's going to be a mess. You're going to have all kinds of different fluids. Be prepared to be dirty.
What you want to do is you're going to remove the harness from the old engine, and you're going to use that harness on the new engine. You're going to ignore all the connections for the automatic transmission. The only thing that the manual transmission is going to need is going to be the 2 wires for the reverse. Then what we're going to do is we're going to give this car VTEC, variable timing electronic control. The old engine didn't have it. That's what makes Honda so special, is the VTEC. All these vacuum controls, most of this is just for emissions. We don't have emissions anymore. This thing is over 25 years old. We no longer care about emissions. We're going to gut everything out of it. This is where you guys want to make sure you change anything that you come across that needs attention. For instance, every single gasket on the engine is gonna be brand new. I even took off the head, gave it to Don at Ewing Auto Machine, and had a full valve job done, new valve stem seals, because I want this car to last another 30 years. Peace of mind is the most valuable part when it comes to doing a project like this. What do you think?
I think you explained it really well.
This is the reason why I wasn't home the first decade of our marriage.
I know, I remember.
You did a good job raising the kids. The cool thing about the auto manual conversion on this car is the provision for the manual is still there. One center hole for the master, two for the hardware. I did have to use an aftermarket clutch line because none of that stuff factory exists anymore. You saw that I changed out the shifter from automatic to manual. When you do that, you have a neutral safety switch. So you saw me crimp the two heavy black and white wires because when you go to crank your vehicle, you need the starter signal to work properly. Now, it's not going to have a clutch safety switch, but just think of it as the 80s. I got the slave in, I put the clutch pedal in. The cool thing about this is the bolt for the top of the clutch pedal assembly is there. It's the most important bolt because as you're putting pressure on the clutch, the assembly is going to want to collapse on you. So you have to have that bolt up there. So a Honda Accord and a Honda Prelude are pretty much the same car. They have the same power plant except for the top end of the engine. This is a sedan, the other one's a sports car. This has an F22, which is a 2.2 liter single overhead cam, makes about 125 horsepower. Doesn't sound like a lot when you're adding 100 horsepower, but we're talking double in this case, and 2,000 more RPM. So come back next week and check out the project of the H22 auto to manual conversion.
Sam's Garage is presented by NH Oil Undercoating. Is brought to you by the following companies: Sam is at the 2003 SEMA Show visiting all the vendors and checking out the latest innovations in the automotive industry. SEMA has always offered an experience unlike no other trade show on the planet. It's the best place to see thousands of the newest automotive performance products from around the world.
I'm here in Las Vegas at the 2023 SEMA Show. It's absolutely huge. It may actually be coming back. There's as much to see outside as there is inside. It wouldn't be SEMA if I didn't come see my partner in crime, Doug Harris, here at Hemsaw. How's it going? How's the show?
The show's been absolutely fantastic, Sam. A lot of really good people coming through, get an opportunity to show our product. It's been a great show so far.
Absolutely. I see a lot of people. It looks a lot bigger than last year. It's growing back, coming back from COVID, which is a good sign.
Yeah, it is.
So what are we showing this time?
You know, we've got some new products here. We've got this 784. It's a little bit bigger machine. You know, we have an old tried and true. You know, the great thing about us, Sam, is we're able to take care of our customers.
Yeah, customer service, that peace of mind is absolutely priceless.
It's so important today. COVID's taught us that.
Yeah. You guys know I'm a huge fan of DEI. It's about heat management. Anytime you guys are building a turbo application car or producing a lot of heat due to a blower or even nitrous, you want to use DEI to keep that heat down so that you keep your power. You also have the shields under here. They even have a wastegate blanket. That's pretty cool, and it's a little cute. So if you guys want heat management, you got to check out DEI because we're all making horsepower out there. With horsepower, the byproduct is going to be heat. I'm here with Bruce, and with the only locking fasteners on the planet, Stage 8 locking fasteners. These guys provide us with peace of mind, keeping our horsepower at bay because we don't kill any gaskets. So do you have anything new this year?
Yeah, but I can't really talk about it.
Oh yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, it is. I'm supposed to keep it unwrapped till I finish it.
Well, I can't wait to see what you have in store for us next year.
You'll see it.
Because you always come out with the coolest products to keep us going in the field. I'm here with Phil Pataki in the car capsule booth here at SEMA, and he finally brought out the paint booth.
Yeah, finally. So it took a while. So for years, we were building custom ones here and there, and we just decided to go into production and add it to our offerings. Well, this is going to mitigate any damage to your car while you're working.
Very cool, man. I'm glad you finally brought it out for everyone to see and enjoy. I can't wait to see it out on the show circuit.
Yeah, so check it out at carcapsule.com, the Paint Pro Station for the pro on the go.
Just when you thought the 2JZ was getting old and going away, they keep innovating new parts for it every single day. Corgi is one of the most reliable, oldest, best names in Japan, along with HKS. They've been doing parts, reliability, and giving you horsepower that lasts a long, long time. These kits will last well over 100,000 miles. It's been great here at SEMA 2023. Now let's get back to the shop and get back to work.
Be sure to check out Sam's Garage on these other media platforms. Send us questions and feedback to info@samsgaragetv.com. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Sam's Garage. Sam's new project, C6 Corvette, is just getting started. Doug's GT350 has a new set of wheels for the great race. The Honda Accord Sleeper project is underway, and Sam took us on a tour of the 2023 SEMA Show.